Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Nightmare Mode run. Hope you're all doing well. One thing I haven't tried in Nightmare Mode yet is to do a full-on Elemental build, so I wanted to do a Mage run to test out how Elemental and Burning builds work in the new difficulty. I'm going to use the Mage's best weapon, the Taser, which works with the scales off of elemental damage, works with Scared Sausage and Snake to set everything on fire, and slows things down, and we'll see how we can do when we're trying to burn everything. One thing that is difficult with the Mage is Wave 1 is kind of tough, because you can't, when you're killing the enemies in one shot, you can't set stuff on fire. So you're not going to get... I was hoping I could land the last attack on that tree there, but it hit the enemy instead. When you're killing things in one shot, you can't set stuff on fire, which makes it much harder to clear Wave 1, so you're going to end up with much less money. I'm going to go ahead and ban Gummy Berserker. Injection I'll leave in the pool. Let's pick up a Taser here. Obviously, we want as many of these as possible. I'll lock a Propeller Hat and then roll. We're maybe not going to be able to kill loot aliens, so I won't lock the whistle, but I'm going to roll here, and I'm going to roll again, looking for a Taser. Landmines and Rat, again, I'm leaving these in the pool because they're good at spreading fire with the Scared Sausage, which is pretty important. But what I really need is to find another Taser. Also, piercing shots on Taser are incredibly powerful, so finding that sharp bullet was great. Only getting 2 weapons, obviously a little disappointing, but that's not that unlikely on the Mage, because your first wave is you're always going to be down income on the first wave. As I already mentioned, it's just more difficult to kill things. Getting a crate there helps catch us up, and that's all that we really need to do is get to the point where we can buy a bunch of Tasers and start triggering our support weapon passive to give us a bunch of extra materials. We'll take the charcoal here. This is, although it does cost me 2 harvesting, elemental damage is of course what we're trying to build, and then we're going to re-roll. I could roll for more harvesting, but let's just take an elemental damage. It's so important to boost our damage output on this character, and we will get harvesting from buying Tasers, so while it's still obviously a super high priority, it's not quite as critical. Finding only one more, though, we had 1 locked, and finding only 1 more is really bad. Yes, this is a weapon with 2 tags, but you would usually expect to find like 5 or so. So we're running a little bit behind in terms of our shop luck currently. The thing that I think is going to be hard about this run is just that Nightmare Mode really incentivizes you killing everything as soon as it gets close to you, whereas the Mage wants to kill things kind of slowly and at a distance, so I think that's going to make it a pretty interesting run. Here I'll just take more elemental damage, and then 8 harvesting is a real gift. We're very happy about that. I'm going to buy all the items we have locked, and then roll. Another Scared Sausage is an excellent find, and I'll lock a mutation and eliminate as well. And then, even though I have 3 items locked, I'm going to reroll once for 4, because we have a guaranteed weapon in shops 3, 4, and 5 every time you reroll, and there's a decent chance that it's a Taser. It wasn't this time, but for 4 materials, which is pretty negligible, it's worth looking there anyways. Since it's so important that we get our 6th weapon to max out our support weapon tag, and of course actually help us, kill things and not die. I don't know that I'm going to be able to kill the Curse Alien, but I do think we probably do want Curse. I'll take 10% attack speed here. Attack speed is actually pretty helpful. We're going to end up with a lot of damage on our Tasers. It's not just the fire for this character. And then we'll buy all of this stuff, and I'll do a reroll. Okay, well, a Wave 6 candy bag. I certainly can't turn this down. And then I'll roll and lock another Taser. Perfect. Obviously, there's a chance that we just get a really early elite that we can't deal with, and we just die. But an early candy bag like this just seems both incredibly fun and obviously really powerful. The Mage doesn't use random stats as well as other characters do, because obviously the other damage sources are wasted. Ranged and melee damage you can't use at all. And you're very all in on elemental damage in general, but it is still going to be super helpful to have movement speed, lifesteal, regen, armor, etc. show up. Cute Monkey is great. That's excellent healing. And then, do I want to lifesteal? I guess so. Lifesteal is a good way for us to heal. And then here, I will just take 8 more harvesting, because increasing my harvesting is going to help us stay... keep our economy high. I will upgrade the taser. I definitely need more clear speed, and then I'll lock Peaceful Bee. We'll buy another lemonade, and then we'll go to the next wave here. And oh no, come on, game. All right, well, this is probably the worst elite we could have gotten too, because it also just chases us down the whole time. Taser isn't the worst weapon to try to survive this with. We're not going to be able to kill it, but Taser will at least help us stay alive by slowing it down. But yeah, getting the candy bag elite right away was pretty rough. That's really funny. We'll give this another go. Okay, so now it's working properly where the fire is going off. Interesting. They changed that a while ago, where if you kill something in one shot, it doesn't, the snake fire won't proc, but for some reason when I restarted the run, it's procking again. And so I wonder if there's a weird thing there where snake isn't like working on the first wave or something, until you do a run restart. That's very bizarre. But that's a pretty consistent bug, so I wonder if that is worth reporting. All right, we'll take an elemental damage here, and then I'll lock a tree. Elemental book is now worth elemental damage, and probably worth just locking. It's a pretty efficient source of elemental damage on a character that really wants that, so the new book, I think, is really helping out here. And that's so sad that I died to the wave 6 candy bag elite. If I'd made it one more wave, I think we'd have probably been fine. But getting it to spawn immediately was rough. That's also a funny one, because having that elite spawn on Danger 5, I wouldn't have died. But on Nightmare mode, where there's just more stuff to dodge, I definitely, it was much harder to avoid dying there. So it's also fun that those types of decisions are a little more punishing. Though in this case, that was a pretty rough random result. Here, I could start building dodge, but let's just keep building early harvesting. Okay, we'll very happily take 2 elemental damage. And then I'm going to buy all of this stuff and reroll, upgrade my tasers. Insanity, taser does actually have 2x crit damage, so I think I will, in fact, buy the Insanity. The Mage, of course, the fire doesn't benefit from the crit chance, but the actual weapons do, and that is a big chunk of your weapon damage. And then we'll keep up, or of your damage output, and then we'll keep upgrading our weapons, and we will buy some regen. While I kind of, while I'm happy to build either stat on this character, I think that your best option is to do kind of a combination of regen and lifesteal and not rely on either of them completely. Taser is a pretty short-ranged weapon. It shoots really slow, so lifesteal isn't always going to be incredible. Also, you're often planning to set enemies on fire really far away and have them die before they reach you, which makes lifesteal worse. But pure regen is also somewhat expensive, and when you can use lifesteal at all, it can help to have both. Here, I'm going to reroll, because I could take 3 regen, or I could take 6 movement speed, but I think we can just do better. And I'll take 10 luck. Getting some luck early is really nice. and then we'll pick up 4 regeneration. Now I'll have actually pretty solid healing for this early in the game, plus 7 regen. Another book is great, but let's upgrade my weapon first. We also had Sharp Bullet in the last run. Really sad to lose out on that, but this run I've gotten way better shops, I have to say. A lot of really solid items and a bunch more weapon levels. So, of course, we're missing the piercing shots, which are very important, but other than that, everything that this second run has been a lot luckier so far. The second scared sausage is also something that you really, really want to find on the mage, because it makes setting things on fire with with other stuff like turrets much more reliable. I only got the 1 curse alien kill there. I'm gonna reroll here, and I'll take 2 armor so that we're not dying. I am also taking the glasses because on the mage, setting enemies on fire further away is actually pretty important. I'll buy Baby Gecko. I'm going to start using my bans as well, so I'm just going to ban the Terrified Onion just because it's a weak item, and then we'll buy a Taser, we'll lock Cute Monkey, and then go to wave 6. But I need to use my bans, especially on level 1 items, because then we can find more snakes and more scared sausages, as well as just the normally excellent level 1 items. But Mage in particular benefits from banning level 1 items, because it makes you more likely to find the specifically powerful ones for this character. Yeah, wave 6 was such a punishing wave to get a random elite. I mean, you can see how hard it is to dodge all of the attacks from all these anemones and pufferfish, even without the shark chasing us down. But and I think, like any other elite, we'd have been fine, too. I'll take 10 more luck here, and then I'll ban Butterfly, because it reduces my elemental damage. We'll buy both of these. I could buy a wand to have more reliable fires. If I find a higher level wand, I might do that. Alien Worm, I have +3 consumable heal, so I'm actually going to buy 1 Alien Worm. I'm fine going down to +2 in order to boost my max HP here. And then Garden, I don't think it's worth locking. Let's reroll. We'll ban Gummy Berserker. We'll buy a Taser. We'll roll again. And then I'll ban Pencil. And buy Plant, lock the Helmet. So our defensive stats are actually looking pretty good. We're going to have decent armor. We're going to have good, very good regen at this point. I just need to be able to kill stuff. So I'm looking for piercing shots, I'm looking for snake, I'm looking for scared sausage, I'm looking for other ways to spread fire, most notably just like turrets, pocket factory, that kind of thing. Pets, also. A Blazemander, of course, would be a really nice find in terms of pets. Getting to kill Cursed Walrus before they completed their full set list was really nice there as well. Because on a healing wave like this, slow damage sources like Elemental tend to really suffer because the healer enemies will heal stuff up as it's slowly taking hits. I think I can survive the bait, so I'm gonna buy that. I'm gonna recycle Gambling Token. My armor's quite poor at the moment, and we're probably not building dodge this run. And then here, I would love to roll for armor or something like that, but I just gotta take elemental damage. We'll buy Bag, and we'll buy Helmet, and then I will re-roll. Upgrade my Taser, ban Dynamite, buy a Tree, and roll again. And then this is great. Which of these do I want? I guess I still want the weapon upgrades, and Campfire plus Book I can't buy, so I'll buy Book and Cake. And then we'll roll again, and then we'll lock a Taser and lock a Coffee. I'm also going to lock Little Muscly Dude. Obviously, the melee damage is wasted on this character that can't build melee damage at all, but we only have 25 HP, and I need to fix that. Now I need some movement speed. I did fully forget that this was a bait wave, also. Got too wrapped up in the shopping and forgot to pay attention to the lamprey spawns. But fortunately, we were able to survive. Set enough stuff on fire there. We're going to go clear out those trees to get some healing. I'm going to back off over to here and see if we can get this curse alien kill. Cursed enemies are pretty dangerous for elemental builds because your damage is somewhat fixed. It's hard to kill really high health enemies, like ones that have been afflicted by curse. But I think it's still powerful enough on the Abyss that it's often worth buying. Do I even want the Dock Moth? It's good healing when you stand in the aura, but I've just never been that impressed by this item when it's not cursed, because it's so hard to stay in the aura. I think I'm going to just recycle it here, and then I'll take some movement speed. We have a good harvesting, and I need to get to positive move speed. And then, especially because I'm buying Campfire as well. Do I want the Little Frog? I wouldn't mind more pickup radius. We're going to leave a lot of materials on the ground, and a lot of our healing right now is consumable healing. But I think I just need to roll for more damage. Though I will take a fertilizer, and I'm going to roll here, and we'll take bag. Incendiary turret is okay for the mage. It doesn't work with your normal fire, but it does just do good damage. It gets a little bit of extra damage from Scared Sausage. You'll often end up with some incidental engineering, but I think we're going to skip it, and I'll just... do I want to ban defective steroids? I do need more max HP. I think I will just ban it, though. I'm really still hoping for more good level 1 items to appear. Make sure that the Hatcher is on fire, so that we can continue to not have to deal with really high health enemies. I would love to get a loot worm, so it could go kill trees for me. I would love to get a pocket factory, because it can set things on fire. We already have a tree. But a second Scared Sausage, probably the thing I need the most. Also, if we find, like, a flamethrower or something, we'll be pretty happy with that. Flamethrower, particle accelerator, ways to spread fire more easily. You can win pretty easily just with only tasers on this character, but there are some other weapons that are, of course, very strong. Losing knockback is actually kind of a downside, because building knockback on tasers can be pretty nice, but the range and attack speed on the banner are too good to pass up on. A second Scared Sausage is great. Now we have a 50% chance of setting things on fire. We'll take 12% damage here, and then I could buy some lifesteal. Let me reroll. I think I can do better. I'll just take more elemental damage. The percent damage is also important, but even more base damage is really what I'm looking for. Buy all of these items, and we'll reroll. Buy a snowball, that's great, and we'll pick up plant as well. Roll again, and then here, well, we saw our first cursed item. Unfortunately, it's not an amazing one. If I buy I can only buy one item this wave, so let's just buy the one that increases our economy, which is the propeller hat, and then we'll lock taser here. Do I want to reroll for 12? One of the things I'm hoping for is weapon levels, and we have 2 weapons locked, so I don't think it's worth re-rolling there. Alright, I think we're in pretty good shape in this run. The first try was really funny, though. And I definitely could still lose it. There's definitely a lot of really powerful enemies against us in the later stages of the Abyss here. Many of the enhanced enemies are just really tough to deal with, I think, with slow burning damage. So I'm very interested to see how that'll go. I need to not be at the bottom of the map here, because that's where the projectiles are spawning, so it's putting me in more danger. Giving me less time to react to where they're coming from. I I was going to try to take a hit and run through and pick up some materials at the end there, but I took a hit slightly earlier than I intended to. This is another spot where not would be excellent. We don't care that much about upgrading our weapons, and 15 HP and 15 damage is exactly what this character needs. Now, that being said, because I'm making a YouTube video, so part of what I'm doing is trying to find fun stuff, I'm going to recycle it, but as I often say when you see not, if you're just trying to win, you should probably just buy it there. Well, you should definitely just buy it there. I will buy coupon, and I will buy another glasses. Bone dice, I think we will pass on here. My max HP is pretty low, although my percent damage is also awful. I guess I should pick up the bone dice here. And then a loot worm is a nice find. Dangerous bunny is a nice find. Everything costs 69 materials. Nice. Going into the horde wave, I'm going to take the ritual because I need to kill the horde aliens quickly enough that they don't kill me. But my max HP is pretty bad. The items that we've found to improve our max HP are somewhat poor as well. Now, I do have padding. I could try just holding a bunch of materials, and maybe I should do that over buying the little muscly dude. I'll need to actually look at the math there. Usually, it's worth buying HP items over holding materials for padding, but that one's not, like, the most efficient. Alright, we're gonna take some hits because of the cursed enemies there, and then I'll have to back off to this side of the map and try to survive. That means I'm not going to be able to pick up those materials, but hopefully we can at least live here. Pazer doing a pretty good job keeping the enemies off us, at least. I'll take a rat, that's perfect. It can set things on fire for me. And then I'll take 12% damage. And then here, I need more movement speed. Negative movement speed is really hurting me. So this is, with the padding, we get 1 HP compared to the little muscly dude's 5. Yeah, so it's definitely just worth buying the HP item. It almost always is, but it was worth thinking about at least. And then I'm very happy to pick up a Blazemander here. That is gonna be excellent for spreading fire around. Once you have 1 bone dice, it's often really good to get the second one because it just makes your rerolls significantly better. And then we'll roll, and then I'll take an injection here, and I will lock both of these other two. Like I said, we can use both types of healing stat, so we're just going to try to max out on all of our healing as much as possible. Stealing materials from the loot worm there. The other reason not to avoid Curse on this character is just that it's often going to be really hard, I think, to avoid Curse. Because you don't get that much control over what you're killing when you're using a burning build. A lot of stuff's just going to get set on fire, and some Curse aliens are going to die sort of no matter what you do. So you might as well just pick up a bunch of Curse and try to actually get value out of it. See if we can kill that loot alien. Nice, I got it right at the end there. I'll take the scar and got a broken mouth. That's great. I'll take an injection as well. I do want more luck, but I need more armor. You can see how much damage we're taking when we get hit. Then we'll buy all of these. We're buying turret again because it helps set things on fire. Do I want 1 spoon? That's actually a really interesting option for the mage. I haven't really considered having one of these, but it could help kill elites faster. I think it's not worth buying, but like finding this cursed spoon is a little more interesting. I'm going to pass on small magazine and mirror. Obviously, there's stuff that we could find immediately that would make me regret not buying the mirror, but a lot of the time I think we're going to be buying stuff for cheaper than the mirror. And like, for example, this shop, we don't really, like, we'd mirror the Blazemander, but then we'd just be paying a 50% premium on Blazemander. And it's not that important to get a second one of them. Whereas keeping my money let us just buy more stuff. Buy the plant here, and then I'll roll. I'll lock a rat. Rip and Tear, the explosions can set things on fire, but I just don't think it's worth buying here. All right, we'll buy the candy bag, and if it summons an elite and we just die to 2 elites, that will be so funny. So I'm really hoping that happens. I think we're in okay enough shape that even if we do get 2 elites, there's a very good chance that we live, but there are some combos of elites that we could definitely die to, and if we get the 10% chance of an elite appearing on the first wave after we buy Candy Bag, twice in the same, like, attempt at a run, that would just be amazing. I do, by the way, think it's right to buy a Candy Bag here, because the stats from it are just so good still. And I definitely think it was right to buy it the first time. Obviously, we got unlucky, but the amount of stats that you get from a Wave 5 Candy Bag are just gonna, by itself, carry you through the run. Gonna reroll here. I'll take 9 max HP. That's pretty nice. We'll buy Candy Bag. We'll buy the rat. We'll buy the fruit basket. We'll roll here. 2 more elemental damage. That's great. I actually have some crit chance, so I could maybe go for Hunting Trophy, but most of the time enemies are gonna die to the fire. The Cursed Icicle is a bunch of damage output, and I no longer really need to be all tasers, because the support weapon tag isn't as important. So I think I will buy the Cursed Icicle here, and I'll lock the taser as well, of course. Alright, so far only 1 elite that I've seen. So we didn't get the second Candy Bag elite immediately, which would have been really funny. Too bad. I was really hoping that I got an impossible combo of elites and just died this wave. The loot worm is, of course, nice. We're leaving a lot of materials on the ground, and it can help us pick those up. I'm still pathing to pick up materials. I think you are going to hurt yourself more than you help if you try to, like, watch what the loot worm is doing and avoid picking up materials that it's going for. And if you just avoid picking up any materials, then the loot worm is not going to make up the difference there, so you'll just be leaving a bunch on the ground. So just ignoring the loot worm, I think, is the best way to approach that item. I'll take 6 movement speed. I do want to get my move speed slightly more positive, and then we'll buy the Cursed Icicle. This should just make killing elites a little faster, and yeah, I'll take another Cursed Icicle. I wouldn't be buying these if they weren't cursed, but since they are, we'll definitely take them. I'm gonna buy Snail as well. With Taser, slowing enemies even further just seems really good. And then let's lock the Broken Mouth, and I'll roll here. I'll lock the Icicle and the Mutation, because of course this is elemental damage, and the Icicle will help upgrade my cursed one. Icicle is, of course, also an excellent weapon for the Mage. I like Taser still, but I think you can use either. Because Taser just gives you economy while also doing everything that you need for the character, helping you set things on fire and keep enemies away from you. But Icicle, you'll just end up with so much damage from the extra elemental damage that you get as the Mage that you'll just be able to kill things. So either of those weapons is a great option. The Cursed Enhanced Hatcher took a little bit of effort to take down, but our Cursed Icicles are really doing some work here. Definitely need more armor. I'm taking pretty substantial hits when I take damage. We'll recycle here. I'll recycle there because I don't want to reduce my elemental damage. And then here I'm going to roll for armor because with only 7, as you saw, the amount of damage we're taking is getting a little out of hand when I take hits. Then I'm going to re-roll here. Sadly, my knockback is incredibly negative, so I can't use the coil. I'm going to take bait and lock the metal, and then I'm going to re-roll again. I'll buy a snake and a helmet and lock Broken Mouth. And I'm buying the bait this wave because next wave is an elite, so I didn't want to buy the bait and then have to fight it on an elite wave. Now, as it happened, we got a candy bag elite, so I had to fight it on an elite wave anyways, but we could have had 2 elites next wave, and having bait and 2 elites would be, of course, pretty dangerous. I haven't paid much attention to what stats we're getting out of the candy bag, but as long as we're getting the occasional point of elemental damage, the occasional point of armor, regen, HP, anything like that. Armor, of course, is the premium, and elemental damage is very good as well. As long as we're getting the occasional point of relevant stats, it's still going to be a huge economic boost for us. Do I want the jetpack? We have no dodge. 10% dodge is not by itself very good. We would have to build a lot more dodge to make it good. Losing HP and armor, I think we actually don't want, so I'm just going to recycle the jetpack here. I'll take a gentle alien. I'll take 2 armor. I'll buy these items. I'm just going to ban the Dock Moth. I just don't think it's very good for us, and I can get a free reroll if I do that. I'll pick up a cute monkey and then roll again, and a cursed taser. So I could combine my 2 cursed icicles, but that leaves me with fewer cursed weapons overall. You usually don't want to combine 2 cursed weapons because it just decreases the power of your character by removing 1 curse. I could also just sell my level 3 taser, and then we would have to find more level 1s in order to make this cursed taser good. I think that's gonna be fine, though. Obviously, the level 3 taser is a little better than the cursed level 1 taser, but the chance of upgrading this to a really high power cursed item, I think, is worth it. I'm gonna pass on Alien Worm. My consumable healing's too important at this point. We'll take some elemental damage. Power generator, I think we can pass on as well. Landmines, at this point, I'm not really looking for ways to set things on fire. And glass cannon, I'm also going to pass on because my armor is too important. All right, we did get a double elite this wave, so I am very glad that I didn't pick up the bait. This pair of elites isn't one of the most difficult pairs, because their attacks kind of overlap, so you can dodge each of them in the same pattern, as long as you don't put both of them in their second stage quickly. As you saw there, I focused damage really heavily on one of them to make sure they were not both in their second stage at the same time ever. And that was very important to making sure we survived the double elite there. I'm also very glad that I kept my 2 cursed icicles, because they were very important to killing those enemies quickly. Oh, hey, has Lantern. So, I think there was a mini patch. I didn't actually look at the patch notes. I think has Lantern is probably the suggestion that we as a community made to make the lantern increase your darkness radius. Do I have a darkness wave coming up? I do. So, obviously, this is an incredible find. It's a great weapon for us. The knockback is, or a great item for us. The knockback is great. But I'm also, oh, and Wolf Helmet's awesome here. I'm also really excited to see how that works with the increased light radius, which I think is probably what that is. Like I said, I haven't looked at the patch notes yet, but if so, then, you know, we can take credit for a great idea posted in the comments here that I put in the Discord to say, hey, Lantern should increase your light radius. take the cute monkey, and then I'll roll. Finally got piercing shots. Now they're a little worse now that we have the icicles, but I think still very much worth picking up the sharp bullet. And we'll take helmet. I'll take the ritual, and I'll roll again. We don't really need more than 2 snakes, but the cursed snake I think is still worth taking. And of course we'll take boiling water, and then I'll roll again. And I'll take the eye surgery for sure. Didn't find a level 1 taser, but we'll take a duct tape. I'll roll one more time. Okay, well, Strange Book gives me a lot of engineering. Do we actually have a use for that engineering? It's just for the turret. We get it at half value because we're the mage. So you get engineering at 50%. So we would get like 28 engineering from this for our 1 turret. You know what? It's fun, and I think we're at the point where we're very, very strong. Yeah, okay, so the lantern increasing our light radius. Good job, team. We did it. I think that's just a really cool addition to the game. And I don't remember who first posted it in the comments. I've seen a few different people suggest it, but shout out to all of you, because that's just it was just a great idea. Have to be very careful, of course, this wave, because the enhanced pufferfish do a lot of damage and produce a lot of projectiles. Some of them can be cursed, and those, even though we have good armor, could still just absolutely flatten me if I take hits from them. Ghost outfit we're going to recycle. We're still only at 3% dodge, so it's not very good. We'll buy all of these items. I'll reroll here. I don't really need more max HP. I'm just going to roll past all this stuff. The level 4 icicle, unfortunately, doesn't really do anything. Fishhook is also too late, because I wouldn't want to combine these and buy a level 4 icicle. I'd rather have 2 cursed level 3s. We'll take the scared sausage, we'll take the helmet, and we'll roll again. Jelly shield I'll actually take going into the last wave. I think that jelly shield for the boss wave is pretty nice. And we do have the chance, again, of spawning an elite in the boss wave. So I do need to be aware of that. Candy Bag still has the potential to do really funny stuff. Now, obviously, the tooltip should say something like increases light radius and not, you know, the exposed variable there where it says has lantern, but this is, of course, still a beta. Okay, so I could remove my damage and get dodge. This is going to make us significantly weaker in general, but Axolotl's just so much fun, and this is a not totally embarrassing way to buy Axolotl. I'm just going to take it here, and we'll get 60% dodge, which is just really funny for the last wave. We've gotten some ridiculous items. I'm going to recycle the cape. The lifesteal would be fine, but we now have dodge cap. We're well over dodge cap, so we don't want cape. Now I kind of need to find some percent damage, because mine is 5. Just take 6 max HP here, and then 8% damage actually is very helpful. We'll buy the jelly shield, I'll buy some elemental damage. I'll buy the whetstone, and do I care about the glasses at this point? Let's just ban it and get our reroll, try to find some more important stuff. Keep finding the wrong level of icicle. The leather vest I could buy just for some armor. Let's do that, and then I'll roll. Okay, well, we found another cursed icicle. I'm just going to sell my taser here so that we can get even more damage with 3 cursed icicles. And then we'll roll again. Cake, I guess, is damage positive, or is going to help more than just nothing, which is what we're likely to find if I just reroll. And then let's go to boss waves. So no elite spawn. Typically, you want to focus the whale boss over the snake boss first, but in this case, I was just hitting the one that was closer, and that's a more important imperative than which boss you want to fight first, is which one you can fight. And so you're obviously going to just focus whichever one is easier, but if all else being equal, you're going to want to focus the whale boss first, just because it has a more dangerous attack pattern. All right, looking at this run, that was really funny. I really loved dying to the Candy Bag Elite there. We ended up with a pretty strong run overall. Huge amounts of damage from our Cursed Icicles at the end. Scared Sausages dealt 112,000 damage, obviously very good. Our Cute Monkeys healed for 103. We had Triple Bag for 1,000 materials, amazing. Snowball, even on the Mage, Snowball continues to be a little underwhelming. I mean, 9 elemental damage is obviously really good for a level 2 item, so don't get me wrong, it did very well. But you sort of expect on the Mage, you pick this up and it's like plus 30 elemental damage, but it never gets close to that. It shouldn't, because that would be overpowered, but it is kind of funny how this item, even on a character that's perfect for it, still doesn't feel like it's living up to its potential. Coupon saved us 258. We had 38 bonus damage from the Bone Dice, which is pretty solid for these two items, 20% damage each. 300 materials from Dangerous Bunnies. The Loot Worm gave us 200 bonus as well. 20k damage from the Rat and 80k from the Blazemanders. Our turret dealt 5,000, and what else? We ended with 60 dodge from the Axolotl, 24 blocked projectiles in just one wave from the Jelly Shield. Most of them wouldn't have hit me, of course, but this is still always really nice. And overall, just a really fun run. Alright, my friends, hope you've enjoyed this look at the Mage, and Elemental build's definitely still viable in Nightmare mode, if you were wondering. I kind of was myself. As always, of course, if you have enjoyed the video, then feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.